Boy, we are live. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Happy Sunday to all you wonderful pet parents joining. I've got this newish program software that I've been using for a couple of weeks, which is allowing me to stream on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, which is wonderful. That way, whoever is on Facebook, I can interact with, as well as whoever is on YouTube. I can interact with all of you, which means that you need to comment, post in the chat or the comment section, depending on where you are. And this video also gets published to Rumble. Unfortunately, I can't use the program to live stream to Rumble yet. They don't have it's like RMTP, I think is what it's called. They don't have that set up yet. So once they do, we'll stream live there as well. But this will get posted up on Rumble. So I'm so excited today. We are finishing up Happy Cat Month, which is the month of September. So every Sunday so far in the month of September, we have been going through tips on raising a happy, healthy cat. And today we are wrapping it all up. I have some more tips for you, and I actually saved one of the tips for last, and it's going to be, I don't know, it's definitely something I could probably do an entire series on, but I actually have a really, really exciting announcement about it that I'm going to tell you at the end of today's broadcast. So make sure you stay tuned. And again, post in the chat, post in the comment section. Let me know you're here. If you have any questions, go ahead and get your questions in, and I'll be happy to answer them as well. So thank you for being here. Do make sure if at any point during the video you like it, make sure you do give it a thumbs up. And if you're already not subscribed and following, please make sure you do that as well. So that's my PSA. Also, that if you are part of the family over on Patreon, which I hope you are, then you got all of this content first. So you got it way before everybody else. So let's first talk about the first week of Happy Cat Month. We talked about vet visits, food, water, and what I call hunt, stalk, kill, eat, clean, sleep. Such an important concept that I definitely don't want you to miss out on. If you missed week 1, go back and check it out after today's video, of course. Week 2, we talked about playtime, supervised outdoor time. Having 2 cats can often be better than 1, and the importance of understanding that your cat is not a human. Like felines.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing.
Okay, I guess I activated Siri somehow. Okay, didn't do it again. The importance of understanding that felines are a completely different species from us, and also that they really are not that domesticated. Any domestication that they have, they've done on their own, basically. We really haven't intervened. And week 3, which was last week, I am so sorry I had to cut our live stream short, which is yet another reason why it is so important to be part of the Patreon family. We talked about over-vaccination, vaccinosis, which I just barely touched on in the live. We went way more into detail on Patreon. And then flea and tick medications. So incredibly important. Now, this week, we're continuing. We're wrapping everything up, right? And so we've got a couple more. There was a squirrel that just ran past. Okay. Vertical space and scratching posts. So I want to talk a little bit about vertical space and scratching posts. These are so incredibly important for your cat's health and happiness. It doesn't matter if you have a single cat, multi-cat household, or even a bipedal household. Vertical space and scratching posts are so important. I feel very I don't know what's going on. It's just like allergy type sinus issues. I'm not sick, but if I sound nasal, I apologize. I'm feeling very, very congested this morning. One way to maximize space for your cats to play, nap, get their own self-care time, so important, is to create climbing surfaces where your cats can scratch and play. Having a safe space away from other cats, humans, and other animals in the home is crucial for our cats. Kitty condos, cat trees, these are really easy and affordable ways to incorporate vertical space for your cat. And of course, there are different kinds of scratchers available, different kinds of condos and trees available. Generally, I recommend sisal scratching posts for the best scratching surfaces. But it is really important to know that different cats are going to prefer different scratching surfaces. Excuse me for one moment. Like my ears are clogging up. Oh, okay. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. That's terrible. Okay. Oh, and I didn't mention I just bought this. It is the cutest little, there's so much like vintage Halloween stuff coming out that's like replica of vintage stuff. So adorable. This is actually I really want to decorate for Halloween, you guys. I am so ready. And this is the first piece I literally just bought it, and this is where it landed when I walked in the door. But I'm ready, super super ready. I'm gonna wait until my birthday though. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna do it, and then we'll enjoy the entire month of October with Halloween stuff. Anyway, back to kitty trees and condos. They're affordable. They're easy to incorporate. And yeah, so different cats may prefer different surfaces for scratching. For example, in my cat room, I have cardboard scratchers, sisal posts, as well as plush rugs. And then their cat trees have both sisal and carpet on them. So I have one cat who he loves the plush rugs. So I buy the small, like little area rugs that are very, very plush for him, and he can scratch away. I don't spend a ton of money on them. They last a good amount of time, and they add some extra texture and comfort into my cat room, and he gets the surface that he likes to scratch on. I have another cat who loves his cardboard scratchers. In fact, most of my cats throughout the time I've had cats really, really love their cardboard scratchers, so I keep them around for multiple reasons. I have another cat who loves the sisal. That's what she goes to scratch is wherever the sisal is on the cat trees. And then I have another cat who likes to scratch on the cat trees, but he likes the carpeted surfaces. So I have like they're all over the place with what they like. So I provide them everything. And then if they change up what they want to do that day, they still have other options available. And that's really important, is to give them options, especially as they age. Things change. And I was just listening to Dr. Marcy Koski last night, and it's not the first time I've heard this, but she reminded me that as cats age, cats have toleration levels for stressors, right? And they may be able to accept things that aren't really ideal for them while they're younger, but as they age, that tolerance level decreases, and they're just not going to stand for it anymore. They're something they have done and accepted their whole life. As they age, they're just going to be like, yeah, I'm not taking this anymore. I'm not accepting this anymore. So it's really important to provide options for our cats. So incorporating scratching posts and that are vertical is also really important. And we've talked about this before, how the idea of what we want to mimic, what we want to provide them, is like a tree outside. So if you think about a cat that lives outside, or wild cats, right, that live out in the wild because they're wild, they often will use trees to scratch. So that is a vertical surface where they can really reach up and stretch, which is so important for their forelimbs and their shoulders. And incredibly important to maintain their musculoskeletal health. And so it's important to provide them different surfaces for scratching. A lot of the cardboard scratchers are flat, totally fine, but having those vertical and sometimes even inverted scratchers, Sasha, who passed away earlier this year, those were her favorite. The vertical ones that weren't like flush mount on the wall, but they had like, I don't know, like a 45-degree angle. Those were her favorite. And I have some of those out there as well. So all of these are really, really important. There are also shelving that you can do for your cats. And I don't want to go too much into that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can do a Google search. In fact, I asked for some for my birthday. So hopefully I will be able to actually show you some on my YouTube channel in the next, I don't know, week or two. We'll see after my birthday. Yeah, so that's really something that can be, even if you have a really small space, providing vertical space for them on the walls is going to be a way that you're not taking up floor space, right? Because especially if you live in a small area, your floor space is like prime real estate, right? And we need that for things like litter boxes and food and water. So let's really think about that. And also, I just want to mention anywhere you have vertical space set up for your cat or cats, you want to make sure that there are always at least 2 ways to get on and off. So if there's only one entrance somewhere, especially if you have more than one pet in the house and a cat gets stuck or feels like they're stuck, bad things can happen. So always have at least 2 entrances, exits to whatever space you have for your cat, which is going to lead us into our second tip today. We're going to be talking about litter boxes, and that's another tip for litter boxes. So if I repeat myself on that, it's because I have it listed down further below in my tips. I have a ton of tips for litter boxes. So get your pen and paper. Bookmark this video to come back to whatever you need to do. Join the family over on Patreon so you have it all written down for you. That would be wonderful. So I'm going to boom, 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 run through all these litter box tips. I have so many of them. All right. Like I said, I could do a whole series on litter boxes, and I have a really super special announcement about this topic. So stick with me till the end. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sum things up in a very clear and concise way, because the idea of Happy Cat Month is to give you like the overarching boom, 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 boom. This is what we need to do. And then any of these areas that interest you, we can do breakout videos on, right? I was going to say sessions because I don't know why, but it's not sessions, it's videos. Anyway, okay, tips for litter boxes. Let's get into it. Also, let me check in. You guys, post in the comments or the chat section, wherever you are. Let me know you're here. Let me know about you. Let me know about your kitties. Let me know if you have any questions. I want to hear from you. These are so much better when they're interactive. All right, guys. Okay, tips for litter boxes. Let me get another drink of water. Okay. Here we go. Have at least 1 more litter box than the number of cats. For example, if you have 4 cats, you need at least 5 litter boxes. I have 4 cats. Right now I have 6 litter boxes. That's just me. And I am anal. I am OCD about my litter boxes. I scoop 5 to 6 times a day. I empty them out regularly every few weeks and wash out the litter boxes, clean them out really, really good, and put in fresh litter. I don't recommend anything less. Spread out the litter boxes, multi-level houses, even more than one spot in a room. If you just have one room, this could be something if you're having issues right now. Any of these tips, if you're having issues right now, we want to implement all of these. Spread out the litter boxes, at least 1 litter box on every level if you have a multi-level house. Choose litter that is as close to natural as possible and no fragrances. Keep the litter box clean. Like I was just saying, scoop multiple times a day, empty the box, clean and replace with fresh litter every 2 weeks. Don't use litter robots. You need to know what your cat is doing in that litter box. You need to know how often they're going. You need to know what it looks like. You need to know the consistency. You need to know the smell. You need to know all of it, because changes in litter box habits are the number one symptom that you might get from your cat that you need to go to the vet. You need to be on top of their litter box habits. I've actually talked about this in another video, and guys, it is so important. Be on top of what is coming out of your cat. All choices that you make must be approved by your cat. This goes to the type of litter box. This goes to the type of litter. This goes to scooping. This goes to placement. Everything. Your cat is the deciding factor. Period. Like, full stop. End of story, right? Okay, choosing a litter box. Ideally, the litter box is going to be twice as long as your cat. A lot of litter boxes that are available, they're just not ideal. I don't even know how they continue selling these things, but they are what they are. And a lot of cats are okay with them for a period of time. And then again, once your cat gets older, their stress tolerance decreases significantly. They may not be okay with them anymore. Plastic boxes are very popular, but they need to be replaced at least annually, because plastic is porous. It's going to hold in odors and bacteria. Some cats prefer low sides. Some cats don't mind having high sides. Older cats will definitely need a low profile entrance. Keep that in mind. Never, in my opinion, never, ever, ever use a covered box. It traps in the odors. Cats don't like that. It also only gives them one entrance and exit, which, if you have multiple animals in your home, is a big, big no-no. Litter box placement. Never place a litter box near food or water. Never do it. Place them around the house whenever possible. Do not place them in areas with high traffic. Do not place them in closed off areas such as a closet or a basement. Do not place them near the washer or dryer, as the noise can be scary, or a dishwasher, by the way. Do not place them in areas that are do place them in areas that are well ventilated. Do place them in areas that have multiple exits, especially if you have more than one pet. Choosing a litter. Let me just check in with you guys. Okay. Choosing a litter. The number one rule, no matter what, period, full stop, end of story, is to use what your cat likes. They are the deciding factor. The more natural, the better. Right now, I'm using a grass-based litter. Yeah, it's grass. So do not use a clay litter. It contains known carcinogens. Don't use clay-based litter. And also don't use anything with natural fragrances or natural scent or whatever. Don't use those things. They're chemicals, and also very often, most times, those chemicals that are used to create fragrance are phthalates. We've talked about phthalates so much on this channel. I don't want to, keep beating it into you. If you have questions about phthalates, let me know. I can get into it. Cats are very clean animals. They clean themselves a lot, and that means that anytime they get out of the litter box, they're cleaning themselves. So they are ingesting your litter. Another reason why it is so, so important that you choose a litter that is as close to natural as possible. No fragrances. Again, I know I've said that a few times. Very important. Pellet litter is wonderful. There's one specifically that's made out of hinoki wood and green tea that I love. In fact, it is my absolute number one first choice for cat litter. However, I only have one cat that uses it. So I have one litter box that has it in there. The other 5 litter boxes have the grass-based litter that all of my cats will use. Yeah. I lost my spot. Hang on one second, guys. If your cat is not using the litter box properly, that is a topic for another post. We can certainly cover it. It is a very multifaceted question and answer. But know that anytime you notice any changes in your cat, behavioral, mood, physical, anything, it is absolutely 100% go to the vet. That is the number one thing you need to do. Do not go to Facebook to ask people what you should do. Go to your vet. Okay. Oh, we're moving on to the third third and final tip for Happy Cat Month. I'm super excited. I can't tell you how much I have loved doing this month. Before we get into our final tip, I have just really, really enjoyed focusing on cats pretty much the entire month. Now, my podcast, if you guys are not watching, everywhere I am, it's the Pet Parenting Reset. But except for Instagram, I don't really have a business Instagram, but I am using hashtag the Pet Parenting Reset, so you can find me that way. So really, everywhere I am, it's the Pet Parenting Reset. My podcast, I alternate weeks, dog, cat, dog, cat, dog, cat. Now, there are going to be weeks where I talk about something that applies to both. So, I'll have to figure out if I'm going to do how I'm going to do that. But I have a really exciting announcement about the podcast coming up. Actually, 2 announcements about the podcast coming up. Stick with me. Final tip for Happy Cat Month. And I really want you to take this in. Talk with your cats. The overarching theme of this whole month of Happy Cat Month, again, we're in September 2021, but these are going to apply every year. I think this is pretty evergreen, is to honor your cat as a cat. They are a different species than we are, and a quite wonderful species. And I think it's also really, really interesting how they aren't very domesticated. They really are so incredibly close to their wild ancestors. Any domestication that really has been done in cats, they've done to themselves. For the most part. Now, I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that would love to debate that, and that's fine. You go ahead. I'm not taking part. But there's something so special about that they want to be with us and that they allow us to bring them into our homes, and we really need to honor them and provide them everything they need to thrive, which is what this whole month has been about. And all the tips we've had in all 4 weeks really have really been about honoring your cat as a cat and giving them what they need to thrive. Yeah. So talk with your cats. And that may sound a little strange. I talk to my cats all the time, and I have for many years. But one thing that I have really been trying to do lately is hear them. And no, of course, they're not going to speak English to me. I don't expect that by any means. But one thing that I feel that I'm pretty darn good at with my animals is reading their body language. And it's something that I challenge you to get better at. It is so incredibly important. All it really takes is, now, of course, there are courses online that you can take and yada, yada, yada. And I've taken them. Let me tell you, I've taken courses on understanding animal body language. In fact, I took a lot of courses on animal psychology for my psychology degree, my bachelor's degree. I really focused on it because I've been so interested in it. But I don't think any of it compares to just paying attention and being in the moment with your animal, with your cat. We're talking about cats today, but this applies to dogs as well. Being in the moment, paying attention, and really just, I don't know, I feel like I can tell what they want a lot of times, not 100%. I'm working on it. And of course, all of our animals are different. They're all individuals. So we have to pay attention to each of them as individuals and really learn to hear them through how they communicate with us, which is body language. Of course, our cats meow to us, which is really interesting. Cats don't meow to each other. They have developed this language skill that they only use with humans. They don't. Now, I have had some cats meow at other cats, but very, very rarely. And I think it's just like they were talking to me and meowing, and another cat approached and came in our space. So yeah, it's very, very rare. It's not something that they typically will do with one another. It's not how they communicate. It's not their primary form of communication. It's something that they have done as part of their own domestication process, where they use it to communicate with humans. How interesting is that, by the way? So nobody is going to know your cat like you. Pay attention to them, learn them, and provide them what they need to thrive. So I hope you enjoyed this month-long happy cat extravaganza. I know I really enjoyed bringing it to you. Yeah, so here's a little messy over here. I've got to get ready for a dog training session this afternoon. I don't normally do dog training on Sundays. Why am I so obsessed with this? I don't normally do in-home training on Sundays. It's not something, it's a day that in the past have always kind of kept for me to catch up and recharge and prepare for the upcoming week. But things happen, right? And we have things come up and people have their own schedules that I need to try to fit into as well. So I need to prep for my session because I have a lot of homework that I'm going to be giving them today. So I'm going to eat lunch and then do that. Thank you so much for being here with me today, whether you were here live or if you're watching this recording. I appreciate you and I hope to hear from you. I hope you post in the comments or the chat section, depending on what platform you're on. And let me know if you have any comments, if you have any questions, let me know about you and your pets. I really, really hope to see you become part of the family over on Patreon. And what else? Oh, I told you I had an exciting announcement. So I have one interview for that's going live on my podcast in October. It is with Mrs. Layla Morgan-Wild, who is the founder of Black Cat Month. She is the founder of Cat Wisdom 101 and the author of Black Cats Tell All. So I have a very special Halloween episode with Mrs. Layla Morgan-Wild that you do not want to miss. So if you're not already following the podcast, make sure you do so. Whatever podcast player you listen on, I am there. It is the Pet Parenting Reset. So check it out. If you happen to be listening to podcasts on a player where I am not, let me know so I can get on there. I know I'm on all the major ones. Apple, Google, Spotify. I used to listen to all my podcasts on Apple, and not too long ago, in fact, this year, I switched over to Spotify because a lot of the podcasts that I listened to went exclusive with Spotify. So that is where I listen now. So if you are looking to get into podcasts, gosh, there are so many wonderful ones. And I am so close to breaking into the top 100 for pets. So please go give the podcast a follow and help me break into the top 100 in the pet category for podcasts. I'm almost there. So yeah, if you would please go give me a follow on your favorite podcast network, I would very much appreciate it. Again, it is the Pet Parenting Reset. And then in November, we are going to be talking about all things litter boxes on the podcast with the two crazy cat ladies, Jay and Adrian. I'm so excited for that one. So if nothing else gets you pumped up and ready to follow the podcast, I hope that does. So those are my two exciting announcements about the podcast. I hope to see you over on the Patreon family as well. Yeah, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. And until next time, give your pets some extra love from me. Bye, guys.